These days, a lot of women. These days, a lot of women.
Yes. I've got
Oh yeah, I know we're out there.
So I figured all my bucket was someday.
Where'd you go? Where'd you That's where we did our Rotary.
our bell is weak. Good morning, Case City.
Good morning. Good morning. Something's happened at the top. Check the city. Chip Vale, that's right. You got our invitation this morning? Hey, Dan, I've got it. Would you all pray with me, please? Heavenly Father, thank you for this organization we call Rotary, for the men and women around these tables, for friendships new and long-standing, Lord, for the hearts of the members who are interested in service above self. Would you give us eyes to see and hearts to act on the needs around us. Thank you for this food. Thank you for the leadership of our club that's committed to a high service, to a high standard. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The four-way test of the things we think, say, and do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Chip, you got a Rotary moment? Okay, Rotary moment. And it's a Rotary moment, but it's a two-parter, and it came about, and I know some of you will identify this. If you've driven through Sunset Hills and you've seen the light balls, at Christmas time, I had this kind of an epiphany. That was a Rotarian doing something to, kind of started by Rotarian to do something to serve a hunger need. And the other Rotary moment was the very first time I showed up at the very first pig stop. And I just thought, what a neat thing, what a neat event. And this is to benefit the children of Vietnam, another Rotary event. And just those two epiphanies. Here's someone that saw a need and did something about it. Yeah. Matthew, you got anybody visiting today?
We do. We've got a gentleman from High Point Club, David McCoy. And of course our guest speaker, Elaina Moriarty.
Moriarty.
Moriarty. Very good. Thank you. Sorry.
So guess what we got? For the new members, this is our Gold Club Award. I believe Gate City is one of 3 or 4 mines in the country. One of 3 that have had this for 18 years running. It is a good measure, but it's not really the true measure of this club. This club is measured in so many more intangible ways, and I'm most grateful to be a member and was very, very honored to receive this on your behalf. So congratulations, KC. We also have a new banner. I guess this is really Chris's banner. We'll hold this until we have change in the guard and whatnot. This is next year's Rotary thing. I don't see Ashley for health and happiness. I don't know of any other issues going on. Dale, you want to give us a birthday and anniversary report?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
We have one birthday coming up, May the 2nd, Mid-Middleton. He will be a year older. And member anniversaries, we have 6 people that are celebrating their 25 years in Rotary. And it will be effective May 1st. Kelly Harrell.
You guys stand up. Kelly, stand up. You guys can remain while we...
Yeah, Jonathan Smith.
He'll be here in a little bit.
Robbie Haskell. Oh, I can't believe he's here. Tom Sears. Buster Lewis. And Mike Conrad.
I'm gonna Tom Phoenix?
I don't think I'm 25.
You're at least 25.
It says 25.
I don't think I am.
Congratulations.
I'm close.
Tom's part of this. This is Russ.
Because y'all started the club and I came right after. I don't think I'm close, but I appreciate the honor.
You are speaking the 4-way test.
And on May the 4th, James and Linda Pegram will celebrate their wedding anniversary. Another little announcement. In the past, this club has gone to the Lady Dairy. It's just a great experience, and if you have kids, it's even better. Because they get to see what a real farm is, and a very, what I call a healthy farm. Probiotic, grass-fed beef, all that good stuff, no antibiotics. They're having an open house Sunday, May 1st, and it's from noon to 5. And then right across the street is Rising Meadow Farm, that's having their open house from 1 to 5. You can do both of these, and they give you free tours. They offer a bunch of programs, and with the tour, there's going to be lunch served by Jay Pierce and John Jones at the Marshall. There's going to be live music on the porch with Patty and the Porch Pickers, and the kids can throw a pot. They're going to teach them how to throw a pot, or at least help them try to do one. And there'll be baked goods and lemonade by the local Providence Grove High School band. It's just a great community event, a lot of fun.
Sounds like a happy dog.
About this time of year, the baby goats are born, and they're like little puppies. They're a lot of fun, and the kids can hold them and play with them.
Are you sure you got that right? Throw a pot? What is going on? Okay.
When you build a pot on a wheel, it's called throw a pot.
Okay.
Okay?
It was not grow some. It was Dale, thank you. Ralph, anything going on with you in the world?
Nothing, actually. I just want to stand up and talk to everybody.
All right, thank you.
Fundraiser is going very well. We know we've got 2 weeks left. Did everybody get the email? From Dan?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, okay, good. I know some of y'all aren't selling tickets because when I first gave you your ticket packet, I gave you 6 event tickets. And only one person in the club has asked me for more that goes with this package. Now, people have asked me for more that are gonna sell. So I've got plenty of event tickets, okay, to go to the meeting, to go to the event. We are doing very well with all the sponsors though. I want to thank everybody, and there are a lot of commitments, so we just need to see the funds start coming in, because basically we got 2 weeks left. So keep that in mind.
When do we get the sponsor package?
Oh, you'll be getting the sponsor packets next week. Probably by the end, it'll be delivered to you at your office or brought here, whatever the case. I'll make a call to whoever sponsor can get it to them. Any other questions, so we're all clear? We had a couple this morning that we straightened out. All good. Is Dan here? Dan Wood's in here today. Well, I'll say that for next week. We misprinted Wyndham on our event. That's all been changed. It'll be corrected on the website, but Dan has been gracious enough not to say a word. Somebody else pointed it out. And the other person was his boss. So that's the bad side, but yeah, they're all good and happy.
Mr. Wyndham.
That's right.
Buster, you got any happy dollars this morning?
I guarantee you we got happy dollars. Look at that, see?
Well, I was at district conference, and I will say it's my second one, and it was really fun. I do have to say something about the Greenbrier. It's probably the nicest hotel I've stayed in, but they will nickel and dime you a little bit. And when I went gambling Friday night, Wells Fargo immediately put a hold on my card. They must know my habits better than I. And I ended up getting some money, so then you'd order a beer in the casino, and she'd say, "You want to put it on your room?" I was like, "Yeah, put it on my room. Yeah, put everything on my room." So at the end of your stay, I guess they're stuffing this huge bill in your door, because every beer's got about 4 charges on it. There's tax and gratuity. There's a historic reservation fee. A $6 beer is about $9. And I went trout fishing, and they valet parked my car, so I had to walk through the hotel and my waiters and go down there. And all the trout had little radio collars on them. I noticed on my bill there was 15-inch rainbow, and there was a clear water fee, and all these fees for the fish. But it was fun. We had a good time. I really had fun.
I have a couple of happy dollars this morning. So one is that I was approved officially last week to be a liver donor to my cousin. Wow. So on May 25th, I will be given the gift of life, and I'm very excited. He's only 32 years old. So it is an honor to be able to do that for him. And then I hope you're in a good mood, because now I need money for this run that I'm doing on Saturday. I'll send the link out again. Keep that feeling going. I'll send the link out again. And I'm doing a run for a nonprofit that I serve on the board for over in Durham. They actually cover all of North Carolina. It's for early childhood education, which I'm very much a proponent of. So I hope you'll be able to donate as I run the 5K on Saturday.
I think we gotta stand up. Okay, Paul Farley, boy number 3, got his driver's license.
What's he driving? What should we look out for?
This happy dollar is in honor of Chuck Alexander, who's not here today, because he was at a bar listening to a really good band that he talked me into going to see last night. I left about 11:30. He was still there, and looked like he was going to be there. Chuck, when I go throw you in the bus, I'm going to give a happy dollar.
All right. Okay, I got 2. The first is just to play on the district conference. I am so proud of this club and the representation at district conference. We had dinner together on Friday night. There was like 20 of us, and I tell you, the camaraderie in this club is just incredible. And then, of course, all the accolades to be a Gold Club for the 18th year, and that is a big deal. And we are a club of distinction, and we should be so proud of what we do, not only in our community, but around the world. So thanks to all of you for what you do to make this such a, I think, the best club in Olive Rotary. And the second thing is, I want to put a pitch in for the 23rd of June, which is really our 25th anniversary and the changing of the guard. And I have been working with a lot of members that have been in their club for some time to be in contact with our charter members that's no longer with us and our past presidents. And we're making some really great headway. Just talked to Alex Neely yesterday. Alex and Sue plan to come from Myrtle Beach. If many of you remember Dick Yarborough, who was a charter member, Dick Yarborough plans to come. So we're getting some traction here, and I really want us, as Gate City Rotarians, current members, to have a great showing that evening at the Proximity Hotel. So that's a plug for the 25th year, and it'll be a great, great reunion with some of our former members. So please plan to attend.
I'm going to follow up and brag on Mike Conrad just at district conference. Mike amazingly got up in front of everyone as our foundation chair for the district and did an amazing job talking about what our Rotary Foundation does in this district and all of the impact that it has. It was just amazing. We hear it, but when you lay it out there and you talk about it, you talk about what these 50 clubs in this district do, and Mike just did an incredible job, and this whole year has sacrificed so much. That's not an easy job. I just wanted to give you an applause, Mike. And then Sunday morning, you had the very difficult, emotional task of being the one to stand before all of us at district and ring the bell and light a candle for all of our Rotary members in the district that had passed on. And a very emotional moment when we rung the bell and lit the candle for Hal. So, Mike, thank you. I didn't mean to kill the energy. Let's clap again.
My happy dollar is for seeing Dave McCoy, and I think he should share with all of us how he doesn't look a bit different than I met him 15 years ago.
Thank you.
Well, the thing is, he looked really bad.
We take all your
Well, Grandpappy said that you can always tell when you're really old when a friend says that they rolled a joint and you ask him if it was his ankle.
We're good for at least a couple marijuana references. Robbie, we good to go next week for an announcement?
Yes.
Very good, thank you. And Eric is probably the first Rotarian ever qualified to give a liver, so that's... Chip keeps trying. He left his liver outside. It's our pleasure to have Dave McCoy here for a very special Gate City Rotary moment this morning. So Dave, I will give the floor to you.
Oh, thank you, Dan. It is great to be back again. I think when I agree with Mike Conrad, this Gate City Club is an extraordinary club, and you need to be proud to be a part of it. My dream is that when I get thrown out of my own club, I'd like to come over here. And I too want to give a special thanks to Mike Conrad for 3 years of extraordinary leadership for our Rotary Foundation. And I want to give a round of applause again for Mike. Last year, Mike, at our weekly brothers breakfast that we have with some past district governors, incoming district governors, and guests, Mike sort of announced that he would like to see our district increase Paul Harris Society by 50 people. Now let me explain Paul Harris Society. That is a group of folks who are giving a minimum of $1,000 per year. Keep in mind that 3% of our 1.2 million Rotarians around the world, about 3% are Paul Harris Society members, but yet that figure constitutes over 34% of all the giving to the annual fund. That's pretty extraordinary. Well, Mike announced that, and I sort of gulped real hard, but I'm always up for a challenge. And through Mike's assistance and help, and through every club in this district, identifying those folks who can do that, we did make the 50. And we're going to make the goal this year, which is 30. This club has stepped up in an extraordinary way. And I have the pleasure this morning of recognizing 4 new Paul Harris Society members, which brings your total to 10. That's an extraordinary accomplishment. And so I'd like to have Rusty Hoffman, Chuck Langman, Tom Richardson, and Guy Redonda. And Guy is the newest of the Paul Harris Society members. So if they will come forward.
Chuck stayed at the bar a little while last night.
Gee, somehow I didn't get the invitation to that. Okay, Guy, here is your certificate. Your name plaque is already up on the banner. And I did sorry, check. Thank you.
I gave it at the conference.
Right. That was scary. I got a check at the conference. Now, as an executive secretary of our club, I really love to get money. Don't like to pay the bills, but I love to get the money. Well, at a district conference, to get a check of that size, I gave it to my wife and said, please, hold on to it, because I'm liable to lose it. So, Tom? Here's your certificate. And please wear that with pride, that insignia. It really is special.
Let's give these.
I want to say just a few more words about the Paul Harris Society. We make it extremely user-friendly. $85 a month, RI Direct, $250 a quarter, $1,000 per year. You can do it through club billing. You can do it through bank draft, stock transfer. However you want to do it, it can be done. And I do have applications for it, and it really is painless when you figure the number of ways that we can accomplish doing that. I say $85 a month. You've all heard this story. I'm a coffee lover. I buy a car depending upon how many coffee cup holders it has, and it's filled by the end of the day. I go to Starbucks. I came to Starbucks on the way over here this morning. Starbucks coffee. On the way home tonight, I'll stop by Starbucks again. Figure that one out. I've just blown more than $85 a month. Thank you.
I thought they could introduce the happy while you're Rotary.
It's not hard to get money.
All right, so this morning we're going to hear from Elaina Moriarty, which she says is like the bad guy from Sherlock Holmes. She is from Cartersville and attended James Madison University. Now she is the donor recruiter at the Community Blood Center of the Carolinas. She cites her talents as using commas appropriately, quoting episodes of Game of Thrones, and sleeping while standing. So hopefully, hopefully that will happen this morning. But she does feel very passionate about her work with the Blood Center and knowing that her job saves lives here in our community. So I'm very excited to hear more about what they do. Elaina.
It occurs to me now that I'm going to have to stand over here near the computer. Oh yeah, do you want to be my clicker person?
Sure, I want to be the clicker person.
I should definitely know how to do this.
Slideshow at the top
Thank you.
from the beginning.
There we go.
That's a pretty bad one, I can tell you.
Thank you. I know, I said to Chris in my email, for a millennial, technology and me do not get along. Okay, I'm Elaina Moriarty. I'm a donor recruiter for the Community Blood Center of the Carolinas. Some of you may have heard of us, many of you probably have not. We're somewhat new to the area, so I'm just going to start with a little background about who we are. So you can see our mission is to be the steward of a community resource, life-saving blood. CBCC collects blood from the community to return to the community at the lowest possible cost, consistent with the highest standards of quality. So honestly, our true mission can be summed up in one word, and that is community. We are all about the local patients here in Greensboro and elsewhere throughout the state. And it's really important to us to develop and strengthen those relationships that we do have with the community. So we began in 2001 in Charlotte. Several major hospital systems realized that they were having difficulty attaining the blood products that they needed at a reasonable price. So they came together and collaborated to create the Community Blood Center of the Carolinas. We're the primary blood supplier to 27 of our region's hospitals, and we're totally nonprofit. Just similar to the Red Cross, we get a lot of questions about how we relate to the American Red Cross. We're not affiliated with them, but what we do is very similar to what they do. But we merely work on a smaller local level, and they're obviously a large national organization. So we have donor centers in Charlotte, Concord, Gastonia, Hickory, and here in Greensboro. Greensboro is the newest one. We developed a relationship with the Cone Health System here in October 2014. So we are still somewhat new to the area, and we're still kind of doing a lot of grassroots efforts to get our name out there and let people know that we're here. So we subscribe to a community blood banking philosophy. And what that means is when someone donates blood with our organization, whether it be at a center, at a blood drive, it stays here in our community. It's always going to go to a local hospital first. That doesn't mean to say that if there is a situation elsewhere in the country where they need a specific type of platelets with specific antibodies, and we happen to have that unit, it's not that we wouldn't send it there. We've done that many times. But the vast majority of our units stay right in the community that they come from. So these are our hospital partners. I'm sure you'll recognize many of them, and you can see at the end we have the Cone Healthcare System, which services Greensboro, and we're right next to Wesley Long right now. So Greensboro has really become a large focus for us. We're very excited to have this relationship with the Cone Health System, and we are their primary blood supplier. So to give you an idea of what that means, when you donate blood with another organization here in Greensboro, it's definitely not staying in Greensboro. It's going elsewhere in the country, and of course, patients everywhere need blood products and deserve the blood products that they need. But there is, I think, something special about donating blood right in your community and having it stay local. One thing that people often ask us is, oh, well, do you really need blood products right now? There hasn't been a natural disaster or anything like that. And I think there's a misconception about the needs for blood products. Really, what blood products are used for is primarily cancer patients. Obviously, natural disasters do happen, but generally speaking, our hospitals use more blood products on a day-to-day basis than you could possibly imagine. The number right now is above 400 units per day, just from the hospitals that we serve. So that's a lot of blood. We also help a lot of cardiac patients and transplant patients. This is Adam from Waxhaw, North Carolina. Can you hit the next slide for me, Cheryl? I won't read you his whole story, but he's just one of many patients that we have helped over the years, and we work a lot with children, we work a lot with the elderly. I mean, really folks that are struggling with long-term, life-threatening illnesses are the ones that are being benefited by blood transfusions. So I have a little YouTube video for you guys. Can you click on that for me?
September 17, 2010, my daughter was diagnosed with leukemia. She was at risk of dying immediately.
My wife is a cancer survivor, and she was hospitalized with those low white cell counts and was in need of a transfusion.
I was diagnosed with sickle cell anemia as a child.
This is my grandson Carter, my daughter Mandy, and my son-in-law John.
To me, as a mother, watching my child receive something that could very potentially save his life, and did for 2 years, is amazing, and not having to worry about it being there is a relief.
We had hope to the very end with Carter, and it was because we knew the blood was always there.
Knowing that 2 units of blood I received saved my life. Sorry to be here for my kids, because without it I probably wouldn't be here.
Without a doubt, giving blood saves lives. 55 blood transfusions later, my daughter Justine is alive and healthy because of donations like yours. That's why you need to donate.
The Community Blood Center is not just for the patients, it's for the family too.
I need blood transfusions because it helps me stay in school and stay home, stay healthy.
Often when cancer patients are going through chemotherapy, their white blood cell counts will get depleted. They'll end up in the hospital, and sometimes they have to have transfusions. If you could save a life, would you?
We see a lot of bad traumas and a lot of bad medical issues where people need blood donations. Giving blood is easy.
The number one reason people don't donate is because they haven't been asked. I'm asking.
People say the number one reason why they don't donate blood is because they're not asked. I'm asking you right now.
Thank you.
We are here today supporting 10 local families who all have children who are battling cancer right now. While it's a tragedy and something that we don't want to celebrate, this is something that the Community Blood Center was founded for.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. as nice as it would be to watch an hour's worth of YouTube videos about blood transfusions, I think we'll stop it there. But I did want to briefly talk about some of those numbers. Those patients that you heard, those are real people here from North Carolina who have been affected by the need for blood transfusions and who have been helped by the community blood center. These are some statistics about the number of units that are required for different types of patients. And you can see even an automobile accident can sometimes require up to 40 units of red blood cells. I mean, that's an incredible number, and that's something that you can never plan for. You just never know when you or someone in your life is going to be affected by this need. Here are some of the local patients that we've helped over the years. Obviously the numbers are in the thousands, but I think it's important to keep the focus on those patients that receive blood transfusions. By age 72, roughly 95% of the population will have needed a blood transfusion. When you think about it that way, I mean, it's just incredible to me how blood transfusions are the type of thing that people don't really think about until it affects someone close to them or themselves. And the odds are good that it will affect you at some point in your life. Unfortunately, only about a third of the population is eligible to give blood, and out of that number, less than 10% actually donate. That means that we have a huge, huge need for blood donations and a very small pool to get those donations from. That's why we're so thankful for people who donate repeatedly over the years. Of course, we do awards, and I know lots of people who keep meticulous track of how many donations they've made and even create competitions of, who in their workplace or in the family can donate the most. I do have a personal interest in blood donation. When I was in high school, my uncle, who's very close to my family, was involved in a construction accident where he lost his arm. He was in the hospital for a very long time and received over 20 blood transfusions in that time. And up until this point, my family had not been aware of the intense need for blood donations. But of course, when this accident occurred, everyone came together, and my family is Catholic on both sides, so there's a lot of us. My dad is the youngest of 15, and all of them have kids too. So it's quite a big family. And over the course of a month, just the Moriartys made over 100 donations. So that's something that has really stuck with me, and that's really made a big impact on my choice to become a part of this nonprofit organization. And I mean, honestly, we rely on the community to partner with us to help. Not everyone has a huge Moriarty family to pull from. So we need organizations like the Rotary, like your place of worship, schools, the workplace, definitely, to partner with us and help us collect the blood that our community needs. So there's two ways that you can get involved. We're always looking for new sponsors for blood drives that can be held almost anywhere. We have blood mobiles. You probably see them driving around Greensboro from time to time. But more importantly, we have a blood drive coming up that we are specifically opening to this group. Cheryl, could you hit the next slide for me? Oh, yeah, and here's William. There we go. So, we are holding a blood drive with the law offices of your very own Cheryl David.
It could be a joint Rotary event.
We have the date nailed down. We're going to go on June 10th from 11:30 to 3:30. And we're gonna make it a nice event. We're gonna have food, there's gonna be music. We are hopeful to do a pint for pint of ice cream, sorry guys. So if you donate a pint, then you'll be compensated with some free ice cream. We'll have free t-shirts. It's going to be a great event, and the t-shirts, they're really good design. I may have had a say in them, so I'm kind of partial, but they're nice. So we do accept walk-ins. We always accept walk-ins, so please don't feel like, oh, if I can't make an appointment, it's not worth showing up. It certainly is, but if you would like to make an appointment, that can often help us measure out the donor flow, make sure no one has to wait too long. So you can make an appointment with Christina Zucchino. I've got her phone number and email here for appointments, but as well, that goes along with that, if you make an appointment and then feel that you can't show up at that time, please still come. They'll fit you in. Our staff are very highly trained. In that YouTube video, they mentioned that the #1 reason that people don't donate blood is because they've never been personally asked. And I have found that to be true. We're reaching out to the community to personally ask you to come donate blood with us and help us save lives here in our community, in the Greensboro community. Another reason that I often hear that people don't donate blood is because they're afraid of needles. And don't worry, I totally get it. But our staff is very, very highly trained, and the actual donation takes maybe 5-10 minutes tops. It's very quick and at the most slightly uncomfortable. And don't you think that, feeling uncomfortable for 5 or 10 minutes is worth saving someone's life potentially? Every donation has the potential to save up to 3 lives, and that's because we collect a pint of whole blood, which can then be separated into platelets, plasma, and red blood cells. Our patients have different needs. Everyone has their own unique blood type. Another thing that I hear a lot is, oh, well, I'm A negative, and it's kind of rare, so it's probably not a big deal for me to donate. You would think that would be the case, but it's not at all, because if it's rare for you, then if there's a patient that needs that type, it's rare for them as well. They are trying to actively find that blood type that's going to match up with theirs, be compatible, and save their life or prolong it. And a lot of these patients, we just actually, 2 weeks ago, we sent a unit of platelets down all the way to Alabama because there was a little girl suffering from leukemia there who had such a rare blood type that we were one of only 3 blood banks in the nation that had any units of her type at all, which is incredibly rare. But that's the kind of thing that happens, and the blood banking community is very, very strong. A lot of people ask, are you guys in competition? Are we taking something away from the American Red Cross by donating with you? And the answer is absolutely not. All patients deserve the blood products that they need, whether it be here in Greensboro or elsewhere in the nation. The important part of community blood banking is its cost effectiveness. When you're taking those units from the community that you serve, it's much more cost effective to, in our case, almost walk across the street to Wesley Long Hospital to deliver those blood units rather than flying them all over the country. And we also think that it can be an amazing way to bring the community together and to help people make relationships and recognize that what they're doing really has a big impact. From registration to walking out the door, donation takes 45 minutes to an hour. 45 minutes to an hour to save someone's life, that's an opportunity that you're not going to get in many places. It really makes such a huge impact. I think you could probably see from that video, not just the patients, but their families are incredibly grateful for the time and living tissue that people sacrifice to help them. And it's very important that we reach out to the community and let people know what's going on, because I do think that there's a lack of information about blood donation here in Greensboro and all over the nation. So, if you have any questions, please call me, email me, stop by the office. This is our office number here. And we get a lot of questions about eligibility. There are a lot of rules of who can donate, who can't donate, and they do change quite frequently as well. We are FDA certified and follow all of the same FDA regulations as the American Red Cross and other blood banks in America. And those regulations change frequently. So if you have any questions about your eligibility, please check our website, call that number. You can talk to a phlebotomist personally and they can answer your questions about medication, traveling outside of the country, that sort of thing. One thing I want to stress that is a different policy of ours. With the American Red Cross, generally you can donate if you weigh 110 pounds. They have a chart that matches up your height with the appropriate weight. Here at the CBCC, we have a slightly different, we've done away with the chart. We found it to be confusing, and to expedite things, we've just said now we're going to have a flat 120-pound requirement. So it's your excuse to eat carbs all week, okay? So that's important for people to know for sure. And I think that's all I have for you today. Yes, Cheryl?
You talk about fainters, because I know Red Cross told me not to come back ever, and your organization will.
Oh no! Oh no!
Did you go out on the way in or the way out?
3 times on the way out, I'm drinking my orange juice. Boom.
Oh my God.
Oh no! Well, fainters happen, but it's a lot more rare than you think. You're very unique, Cheryl.
But you told me your people are specially faint trained.
Yes, they are specially faint trained. Our phlebotomists are extremely highly trained. They undergo a very rigorous program to be accepted to the community blood center. The FDA requirements are actually, we feel, not as strict as they maybe could be for phlebotomists. So we require an additional 10-week training course. It's very intensive. But as a result of that, our phlebotomists are incredibly knowledgeable. I mean, they're such a great group. The customer service is there, and they know what they're doing. So I was saying to Cheryl on the way in, if they see you get that glazed over look in their eye, they know what to do. They're going to help you. They're going to make sure if you don't faint. And worst case scenario, every now and then someone does have a reaction. Everyone's bodies are different, and some people's bodies deal with the shock of losing a pint of blood more strongly than others. So, you know, it happens, but no one's died. You definitely will not die. And yeah, it's certainly, it's very rare. I mean, so I've been with the Community Blood Center for 1.5 years. I go to blood drives every week, at least 3 or 4 every week. And I personally only see one person faint. So, Cheryl, don't be my second person here, okay? We also have a new policy now that we are hoping will help with reactions. Previously, after your donation, as soon as you felt fine, you were permitted to leave the donor bed, go to the canteen and have some snacks, have a drink. We have now changed that policy to every donor must stay in the bed for 5 minutes after their donation. And you would be surprised what a difference it makes, because sometimes you're laying on that bed and you feel fine, you're like, I'm good to go. And then you get up, and I've seen, you know, a 300-pound guy stand up and be like, whoa. It can honestly happen to anyone. But our phlebotomists are there to take care of you. They know what they're doing. They will make sure that any reactions are dealt with and as quickly and easily as possible. And if you do feel a little dizzy, you'll probably get extra ice cream. So, you know, trade-offs, right? Does anyone have a question?
You guys can catch up with Elaina afterwards. We're going to run a little tight here, so.
Sorry.
No, you're all good. Thank you for coming. We're
Thank
going to
you.
donate a book to County Elementary for having you come out today. I'm sure you'll have a good attendance from Gate City, Cheryl's. If you would, we have a highly legal raffle. If you'll draw and read the last 3 numbers.